Hey guys, we're live. I put this tape back on, but yeah, like I have been serious. Like I've been looking to hold on. Yeah, this won't be a light show for too long. I have been serious. Oh fuck. Oh, you know what? Oh, that worked out perfectly. I've been looking for sort of like a summary, like sort of like Matt McKinley talks about like the half page. I'm looking for like one fucking sentence. I'm looking for like one word. I'm looking for like imagine if you're at work and somebody tells you like they tell you this long complicated sentence and and you just don't know like what they're talking about and it's like just fucking or you know what no they like I don't know they give you like seven different things to do but there's really only one thing to do and like I don't know that metaphor is sort of breaking down, but in any case I'm just looking for like basically one fucking direction, like I'm not looking for that band either. um the Ringo Starr joke about them is still hilarious about oh one of them left, so I guess they're going in another direction. But anyway, I think it's kind of it. They can't beat an honest person. And it like to sort of throw that at anything, because what are you struggling with? Well, if being an honest person is, sort of the high point, then you can be an honest person right now. You can be an honest person at any time. And it's not some kind of like thing where you're looking to achieve something. Either you're being an honest person or not. And they can't beat an honest person, especially over time. When someone's transitioning from being less honest into being more honest, you can probably sort of trip them up because they, they might have a series of dominoes that are potentially going to fall on them. Maybe some of them don't, maybe some of them do. And other ones, maybe the dominoes just sort of dissipate because they leave certain situations, and so it doesn't matter. Like it's not that it doesn't matter, but like maybe they lied to X people or they said X things, but then they never saw those people again. But I'm just saying, like in the transition phase into being an honest person, like perhaps one can be tripped up more, but like you can't beat an honest person because you won't deceive an honest person. I think it's pretty tough to deceive me. I don't know how often people really do. Like I don't know when the last time I've been deceived is actually. Like come to think of it, everything seems fairly clear. It's super clear, and kind of all the, or at least everything seems fairly clear in terms of what's going on. It doesn't always seem clear, like what people's reasons are and stuff like that, but like the sort of the facts of the situation seem sort of clear. It's like, oh, like given all this wondering I've had about like, oh, how are X people responding to me? uh, yes, I've been wondering about that, but that doesn't mean it's not a fairly clear situation, because it's more about like why are they responding to me in the way that they are, because you can see how they're responding to you. If you, especially if you let go more, and like, but if you're an honest person, then you can kind of see like, oh, that person's mad, oh, that person's happy, like, oh, that person appears to be like saying something nice, but they're actually like kind of trying to fuck with you. And that you tell a psychiatrist that last one, and they'll be like, well, you're not allowed to discern whether, you're not allowed to even suggest that anyone would ever be trying to fuck with you. It's like, but like you can, if you're an honest person, it's tough to fucking, it's tough to deceive you. I don't think I don't know if it can be done after a while. And so they can't really beat you in that way. And then if you're an honest person, then you'll probably set like sort of like if you have aspirations or something, you're probably not going to like go for something that seems like it just like you're probably not going to try to like lift a, I don't know, like use a generic sports example. If like say there's a fucking track runner who won a gold medal like this year, and you're like, oh, but I'm gonna run against him, and oh, but I really I hope I beat him. It's like, well, you're probably not gonna even try. You're probably not that not trying is what I suggest, because I think trying is great. Rather, I think putting in like stepping in is great. And I think one of the big things these days is like, oh, calling people tryhards and sweats, like Synthetic Bad sometimes did on Breakers, but Dragon Ball Z game or Dragon Ball game. But um, generally, but here's the thing, guys. If you're an honest person, they won't be able to beat you in terms of really deceiving you. Probably, you're probably not going to put yourself into situations where it seems like it's like sort of unlikely that you'll succeed. Um, Now, here's the thing: you may end up like I've often been so like concerned with seeing if like well could they possibly like be interested or like is this person like are well could they possibly like be interested or like is this person like are they're being nice but like like you it may end up being that like you kind of step over yourself in terms of like questioning whether something is sincere. And but perhaps but here's the thing like the fact that you're questioning it sort of essentially it seemed I think it would seem like there might be some sincerity there anyway, right? Because then you're asking about it. If somebody came up to you and they're like, they were like mocking you, but they were really mocking you like in a mean way, but it was like like saying like, "Oh, I like you" or something. It's like, okay, well, you're probably not going to be like, "Oh yeah, but did she really like me?" Like, not unless maybe I don't know, not unless you didn't have a lot of clarity. But and then whatever you do, like you're gonna do it pretty fucking well, I think. Like because you kind of see where the fucking strings are, you see where the levers are, and or the levers or the rods, and you like you do everything right. You get it all done and fairly easily and really well, actually. I mean, I don't know. Some people may well, you know what? Actually, no. I think like the last three jobs that I've had, like I think I've gotten fairly good, fairly positive regards on what I did. Like for example, at my hotel job, one of the managers came over to me and he was like sort of a lower level manager, but he was a really nice guy. And he came over to me and he said, like, you're doing a really good job. And then more recently, actually, but in an earlier job, from an earlier job, one of the bosses from an earlier job had actually been I think he might have texted me and said like, "Hey, like if you're looking for a job, like you can come back," which is a vote of confidence in itself. But then, or something. In any case, at one point he had sent me a text, semi recently, at least, or in the past couple of years, saying like, "Oh, I've always been satisfied with your work," and it's like that. That's a nice thing to say. And then I think at my current job, like I think at least I've been putting in some energy, but I think I've been doing a fairly decent job in various ways as well. In some ways one might be critical, but I'm not even sure how like because then it might it also it's like well basically because then if you're really kind of discerning like people's emotions it's like oh shit like you've got a lot to work with in terms of like but am I doing like really well like or and then you may start to feel anxious and stuff. But here's the thing, like maybe that's where you could let go more and like have more clarity and be even more honest than you were. And they can't beat an honest person. Dave Mustaine, in a song on the great Countdown to Extinction, says, "An honest man stands tall." I think it's track number one. And Dave Mustaine is like sort of he's like I like looking at figures like just people who seem like kind of like sort of like heroes of mine, but just kind of like I don't know, like I love Dave. Like he just him talking, I've talked about this in other places, but he had an interview where he talked about somebody like coming haranguing him on the street and saying like Metallica rules. And he's like and he kind of like he's like fucking asshole, like but I mean Dave just he seems like such sort of a kind guy, but like kind of an easygoing guy, but also an intense guy, like the Tony Robbins thing. He's like, well, Dr. J or whatever, Dr. J or whoever it was he was cool, but he also he didn't get mad, but he also got a little intense, and it's like, Dave Mustaine, like he gets intense, but like you could tell it's coming from a place of good. It's coming from a place of goodness, just like Synthetic Man. Dave Mustaine, Synthetic Man, those two strike me as like they get kind of intense, but I mean, I don't know. They might be controlled, or Dave might be. He's certainly big enough, right? But it seems like there's some sense of like good, like there's some sense of like righteousness, and I'm not saying to be angry all the time. In fact, I think a lot of what I've been angry about and a lot of what many people get angry about, especially if it concerns what you see on TV or anything that's not a part of like what's going on for you. And I'm not saying that those things wouldn't like, you get a $700 bill from Rhode Island because you don't agree with the medical system. That's horrific. At the end of the year, like, wow. And you are already taking money away from every paycheck. And you're going to tell me $700 more because I'm a bad boy because I don't like the medical industry. What a terrible fucking group of monsters that run this place. They can't fuck up the roads enough either. They love fucking that shit up. They get worse and worse. I'm surprised the roads are still around here because it's just every time they have a construction project, it seems like they get worse, and like road signs get more overbearing, and like the paint on the roads itself, like with the fucking turns and shit, like it and the lanes, like everything's really bizarrely laid out, and they'll have like a right turn only, and then sort of a what looks like a left turn lane, even literally dipping into the lane facing it, but that's the straight lane. So you actually have to go slightly right around the fucking cars that are in front of you to go straight. Or at least, well, like literally at one point, and I didn't blame him, but there was a guy on the right side of me, and he quite rightfully went forward in what should have been the forward lane, but it was the right turn only lane. So I was going forward too because I was in the forward lane, which should have been the left turn lane. And so we had this funny like sort of cinematic experience, like looking at each other like while we were driving, and we were both driving straight on into a one lane street on the other side of the intersection. And it was hilarious. And I like, and actually like, because like I've been frustrated, like I don't, uh, I've been. It's funny because like I have been frustrated. There are certain things that I've been frustrated with, like driving or feel overwhelmed by. But like that was a situation where I wasn't even mad. It was funny. It was like, oh, I hope nobody crashes here. This is great. Wow, thank you, Rhode Island, for just building a fucking theme park in your fucking state. Except it's supposed to be a series of roads, and road is in the title as well, which is just so funny. Never gets old. But yeah, but it's more like Rhodes Scholar, and it's like what Rhodes Scholar designed these roads, right? Right? Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, but if you're an honest person, just to go back to it, they can't be you. Okay, how about in relationships, Matt? How about in relationships where, say, you're not making a lot of money, and there's a woman who it might be interested in you, but you're not making a lot of money, or currently anyway, and she basically like she may falter. Like, what if she goes for a guy who's like actually like really horrific? It's like, well, first of all, if you're an honest person, she's probably not going to be that interested in you unless she's actually interested in you. Because if you're honest, then you're not playing the game, and you're not going around being horribly fake and just doing all the bullshit propaganda and basically like, the slide to the left, slide to the right. Like, you're not doing that shit, and everyone else around you is having a ball doing that shit, and you're like, no, I'm standing aside. And then if a girl likes you, or if a guy likes you, yes, if a guy likes you, actually, for you standing aside, it's probably because he actually likes you for you. And so I'm not saying that she's just going to wait forever or feel like she can wait forever. And like if you don't have your situation ready, then she may end up with someone else. But then ultimately, see, here's where we get to it, that you might call it coping, but ultimately it's like, well, it's actually kind of just relieving. It's like, well, ultimately, if something didn't end up happening, then it didn't happen. So what's the use of like bemoaning it? And I say that through kind of like thick emotion right now, because I might shoot myself in the foot for talking too much, because Please, somebody at fucking work tell me, by the way. If you guys watch my fucking videos, please tell me. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed that seriously, like hopefully it's not the case and like nobody told me, but sometimes like you hear things and it's like, well, that sounds like it might be some kind of like that sounds like it might be something that they wouldn't have heard me say here, but maybe they would have heard me say it like online in a video. But if nobody's saying that they watched my videos, but it's like okay. In any case, please, somebody, please tell me. Be a friend, please. But okay, but you can't beat an honest person because even if you do beat them, they're fine because it was never going to be the be all end all. That doesn't. But here's the thing: that doesn't mean that it wouldn't have been like a great relationship. So like, it's not like there's no chance. Like basically, I've somewhat recently felt like I don't know. Like I've truly felt like oh man, like it feels like there are people where it's like oh wow, like I can't believe that there are like good people in the state. I think I've just been in an area where like people have been really against me, and so I've just seen like the nastiest just for fucking literal years. But hold on. Oh, you know what? I will be right back. Actually, but I don't know if it's just hold on. I don't know if it's just if it's just sort of a woman thing. Not a woman thing in a bad way, actually. Like a woman thing in like a uh like a powerful way. Like I don't know. Like I think it's just basically like I think I particularly given the love for Elliott Smith music and all that and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind stuff. I particularly can be the Joel Barsh, or I can end up acting like the guy from the movie where it's essentially if someone is like looks like looks like they're kind of wistful but like in any way like sort of that wistfulness is like like has is associated with me. It's like like you might say like I'm done, like it's like all right, like I but it's not just that. Like essentially like I think you can really feel like when there's some kind of emotional connection, and it may be like an emotional connection that you wouldn't have expected, or like you wouldn't think that you would have even been that you would have found. But and not that it's like somebody that you've talked to a lot either necessarily, but it's just like it can really feel like man, like there's something good here. And like if only I were in the place like right now where I could literally just be like hey, like I make fucking $80,000 a year, like oh I've got my own house and I can like easily support you, like I would like to take you on a date, and then like I'd like to see if you're actually a person that I like to be with, because it seems like you don't like this horrible society either, and I don't want to just rush into things like everyone else does. And oh I don't want to just like oh we're gonna have sex. It's like because I think I was telling someone that I had talked to recently, somewhat recently, I told him like these days it's the man who has to withhold sex. In fact, perhaps it always has been. I don't, maybe that's just a myth that it would have been any other way, but it's the man who has to withhold sex. It's the man who has to say no. Like I'm no, I'm waiting for marriage, and if you want to be with me, then I would hope that you would. Um, but like you're going to be with me for me, and like you're going to actually be interested in me and actually be interested in what we're doing here. and or I'm not like trying to force anyone to be that way, because then it's just an unstable situation to begin with if you're like trying to force and like, oh, like, because then that's basically the same as like attachment. That's the same as like, oh, now like the whole building's coming down. I've got to make sure it doesn't fall. Like that's just a terrible situation for you, not to mention for her. So I'm not looking for to do that, but kind of instead to sort of define an outcome basically no define not necessarily define what it is that I would like, and then say, is this what you would like? But what it is that I would like is not to fucking just ruin you, and then you end up leaving me, and then you're just a little more fucking ruined, and then maybe the next guy is the guy who like you really like basically think about it this way. It's like any girl that like just sleeps around, or like you fucking you're a predator and you sleep with a bunch of women. It's like, well, what if you just like went and like picked up a woman at a bar and then you fucking slept with her, and then the next day she met the love of her life and you didn't look at her like that at all, and now she goes to him like a little more fucking soiled because of you. It's really fucking gross. It's horrible, and like it hurts to think about, or it just I felt deep pain like with that kind of stuff recently. It's just like sort of thinking about like, man, like it'd be so sad if like someone that you felt like you had a connection with, and it felt like they kind of like had some kind of emotional longing for you or connection with you. It'd be so sad if it was just like, oh, they just let themselves be used by some like fucking sloppy fucking guy who like knows the fucking lyrics to the shitty fucking Nicki Minaj song. And he's like, hey babe, like you want to go like what do something, and she's like, well, okay. And he's like, all right, come on. And then his force of will is like, she just gets pulled in with it. And then I'm not saying that I would hope that she would say no to all that shit, but like, she may be some level of fear and like expectations from the society, and some level of fear about like, oh, well, what if I don't meet anybody and this person's showing me affection, and like maybe she like is totally bamboozled, and or maybe she knows that she has the idea that it's going to be just like a fucking just somebody using her like meat, and then here she is like, and just she's fucking soiled, and it's like, well, here she is, and the sad thing, well, it's not necessarily sad, but like you still may be like I still feel I still feel something here, but now you're just fucking damaged now, and not in a way where it's like now it's just a no, but in a way where it's like, and it's a really sad fucking situation for all of us, except for the fucking cocksucker who damaged you. And it's probably the saddest for him at the current moment, because he's a lost fucking soul. He's a wretched fucking creature. He's slimy muck slithering in the wilderness, like truly, like, and so many people are like, that may sound harsh. Well, it's probably not too harsh, and also it probably describes it probably describes most of the people you see on some level, or at least a lot of them. It's really sad how horrible people are to each other, and like I feel really fucking just really melancholy about that, and I just don't know about it.